Oh, okay.
What, do you think we were starting like that?
Oh, yeah, I thought we were like 3, 2, 1,
Three,
go.
two,
All right,
one, now.
intro.
Well, hi and welcome to What If with Ethan and Sam. I'm Sam.
And I'm Ethan.
And this is What If. So, Ethan, what do you think would happen? What if dolphins had laser eyes?
First off, we have to talk about how, the mental capacity of said creature and giving it such a gift as laser eyes. First off, I would like to make this connection that dolphins, I believe, have the same mental capacity as a 3 or 4 year old child. So
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Let me give me one moment.
Dolphins am smart?
I think so. Mental
Dolphins smartness.
capacity.
Dolphins smarter than human. Thank you, Google searches.
Yes, dolphins are as smart as 3-year-old kids, and dogs are as smart as 2-year-old children. So think of it like this. What would happen if you gave a 3-year-old child a laser and a deadly weapon, but you took away the arms and the legs and you attached fins and you threw them in the ocean?
So we're assuming this is like the burning type laser.
Yes, these lasers are destructive.
Okay.
What kind? I have no idea. Let's just go with like an average of 3.5 watts. I have no idea. I'm just pulling that out of the air.
Okay, well, let's look that up a little bit then. Go ahead.
You're looking up the average of lasers. I feel like, first off, the military, U.S. military.
Whoa, how many watts did you say again?
I said 3.5 watts.
My source here is biglasers.com.
Oh.
As a rule, a laser that can light a match, pop a balloon, or cut electrical tape will need to be over 200 million watts.
Okay, never mind.
So how many watts is this again?
I'm going to say over 500 million watts.
That's powerful. So that not only can pop a balloon and cut electrical
Yes, it can pop a fish.
Yeah, honestly, it probably would. It
would pop the fish and cook it in the salt water, and I think the dolphins can use that to their advantage.
Okay.
Yeah, they would use it as a hunting. I think that they would use it for hunting, self-defense, maybe like, navigating the deep ocean because it gets dark down there sometimes, but they'll probably just incinerate.
Can you expound on that? Like, what? How do you use that for navigating?
Oh, navigation. Well, kind of think of it as like headlights for like a car. You could just see. I'm sure they have their normal instinct that they will use, but it wouldn't help to like enlighten the path and probably incinerate the little animals that are in the way.
First things first, I'm very disappointed that whenever I look up dolphins, the first thing that comes up is the football team because the animals are so cool. Why is this the first thing that comes up?
I don't know.
Secondly, I'd like to send you a picture, Ethan.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Give me a second to copy it.
No.
I need you to take a look at this dolphin and tell me what on earth would stinking happen if this thing was given laser eyes.
Oh, no.
You see the image?
Oh no.
Take a look at where the eyes are on its head.
Okay, so it has come to my attention that the dolphin's eyeballs are like on the side instead of pointing forward. So these lasers would shoot out probably perpendicularly to the dolphin's tail, and that would just go absolutely everywhere.
Yeah. Generally, dolphins, they're known for using echolocation for guidance.
Of course.
What are the eyes used on dolphins for? Right? They have the prey eyes, don't they? The eyes that like are on the side of their head so that they can detect predators.
I guess so.
Aren't dolphins predators? I thought dolphins were hunters. These are such weird creatures.
Yeah. They're like both prey and predator.
What?
I think there's got to be some other animal that eats dolphins.
Are dolphins dangerous? Yes, they are, especially when they have laser eyes.
Yeah, I came up with this thought a couple of days ago, how they would interact with humans. In like Florida or like beaches where they see dolphins off the coast and they're like, oh, look, there's dolphins or whatever.
Yeah.
Instead of that happening, I feel like everybody would run in terror because there's a bunch of lasers just shooting out everywhere.
Yeah, naturally. Yeah.
And so like people would like run from the dolphins, and if there's sharks, they'll be like, oh look, they're just sharks, they're nice, instead of like
the sharks become dolphins. The good guys again.
Yes. They're like, there's dolphins, get out of the water.
Aren't dolphins mean sometimes? Like, I mean, I know like you get a bunch of them together and they'll kill a shark.
Yeah, especially with laser eyes, they'll cook it too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So do you think that like these dolphins that have laser eyes, they get like super pompous and everything? They're like, I only eat the finest cuisine. It must be fully cooked.
Yes, I think their palate will change over time, adaptation, and they will like the finer things in life, and then a social hierarchy would develop, the birth defects where the dolphins that don't have the lasers, they become the ones that bring the food or to be cooked, and then they have to eat the regular fish.
And then there's that one dolphin who doesn't have as strong of lasers, but they're still strong enough to cook, so they are put into like the chef position in the dolphin hierarchy.
Yes, and then the one with the most powerful laser is like kind of like the ringleader, and they're kind of like kingdoms.
Yeah, you get a king dolphin.
Yeah. So you got different colors.
Different colors? Wait.
Yeah.
Where does that happen?
Red. I don't know. The different colors represent
different colored lasers?
Yeah. There's blue, green, red. I think those are the most prominent ones. I don't know. Whatever.
There's the ultraviolet ones, the ones you can't see, but they're there.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's kind of like the roll of the dice. It's genetics, really. I would think.
Oh my!
You got UV light and getting, I don't know, UV radiation in the ocean now, and then you got to slap on underwater sea.
Would anything survive? Would anything survive? Like you're basically boiling the ocean.
I mean, I don't really know. I feel like they would definitely become the apex predator of the ocean at that time.
I would agree.
U.S. military would capitalize on it for sure.
Well, there's this allergy. Hold up, I'm thinking like what you're doing with these dolphins, right? Or what the dolphins are doing by shooting off their lasers all this time. They would increase the temperature of the water. Isn't there like a huge issue with algae moving in because of warmer water temperatures and like killing off a bunch of ocean life?
Yes, but also the majority of the oxygen on the planet comes from algae, so
so it's a good thing.
It could be a good thing. We can cut down all the trees. And then just leave the dolphins to incinerate the ocean and make it warmer. Let the algae grow, get more oxygen that way. I think it's a win-win,
Right. Yes, of course. Of course.
Yeah. There's many upsides.
Wow. Okay. Would the dolphins control these laser eyes? What type of laser eyes are we talking about? Like, are they going to be Cyclops from the X-Men who just can't ever control their laser eyes and are constantly like this helicopter spinning around laser beams? Or are they going to be more like Superman where they can shoot laser eyes if they want to because they're cool like that?
Well, I think we can kind of go for a mix here. I think it's going to be controlled by the endocrine system, chemicals. So that can either be environmentally induced or, brain induced. So they're kind of like cool, but then at the same time, it can just happen without ever put them in the wrong circumstances. Boom, you got laser eyes. And also, I just found out that they have 300-degree panoramic vision. So there's only 60 degrees where you can hide from these things. Yeah, it says here that dolphins' vision is that they have 300-degree panoramic vision. So they can see forwards, they can see backwards and to the side, but they can't see up. Bro. So, yes, the only place it can't look is up, but they can easily change that by just swimming upwards. So, I mean, that would be terrifying.
Okay. We're going to take this on more of a global look. So we got these dolphins. They're in the ocean.
Oh, okay.
They got these laser eyes that they can kind of maybe control. They got 300-degree vision. So, like, there's no place that's safe other than up. And even that's only safe, like, 5% of the time. What does the world do?
Well, I think the wealthy countries, Russia, US, and China, what they would do is capitalize on these, communist countries capitalizing. I know, crazy. But they would capitalize on this interesting turn of events. If dolphins had laser eyes, they would, of course, militarize them and find out what induces the lasers chemically, and probably just either hook like a backpack up to it with like a bunch of chemicals that would when they have like remote controls, right? They got a camera attached to the head. They got the trigger button, but the trigger button is like this thing where it injects the chemical into the endocrine system. It would fire it up. So it's kind of like a remote control car, but more sustainable because you can just go find dolphins in the ocean, and train them.
They become a renewable resource of war.
Yeah. Kind of like drones, but like, you don't have to feel bad if they die because it's not like a $30,000, deficit. It's kind of like a couple bucks, maybe. I mean, anyway, they would use that to fight the new weaponizing animal wars, and that would be they would use that to sabotage boats.
Is that against the Geneva Wait, hold up. Is that actually a thing against the Geneva Convention?
I don't know, but if it's war, then there's probably...
Not all things are fair in love and war.
Yeah, no.
Wait, that's not animals. Hold. Do military animals... What? Are animals allowed in war? That's straight up just what I want to know.
Well, they did do that back in Russia. They strapped bombs to dogs and they would let them run out to tanks and blow up. But eventually the dogs got scared and they would run back to the owners and then they would blow them up. So they quickly abandoned that. They quickly got rid of that. That was a thing.
No. Well, firstly, I want to touch on the fact that you talked about basically cyborg dolphins, because you're talking about like hooking up all this technology and stuff to them.
Yes.
How do you think cyborg dolphins would go?
I think that would be like the next progression of, I don't know, these laser-eyed dolphins. I feel like they become like even more unstoppable, if I'm being honest. I would be pretty terrified if there was a cyborg dolphin.
I'd be pretty terrified if I just saw a dolphin with laser eyes.
I would too.
Nevertheless, one with a backpack on it that's pumping chemicals into his eyes.
Yes.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't know anything about chemistry, not like you, but like, where are these chemicals being pumped into the dolphin? Is it directly into the eye sockets, or is it like back of the head leading into the eyes or stuff like that?
So one major flaw of the endocrine system is that it is not immediate, nor is it exactly very good. It's controlled as far as electricity does. So you would have to like hook it up to the bloodstream.
Are we talking about chemical messaging? Is that what this is?
Yes.
Oh no.
So, it's not.
So what we're talking about is like fireflies that like release chemicals into their butts to basically make them glow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that would not be as immediate, depending on how close you would do it. I would probably do it right next to the main artery that goes to the eye, whichever one that is. I don't know, but that's where I would put the entering tube.
Question about whatever chemical it is that's making them shoot lasers out of their eyes.
Yes.
Is that chemical itself flammable?
That's a good question.
Because if it was, I could see cyborg cyborg dolphins not being a great idea.
Well, I don't know. I'm sure that they can add some other things in there to make it chemically inert. How they would probably... The better question is, I think, how would they get said chemicals? Because that would be interesting. There's two things that they could do. They could take the genetically defective dolphins that don't have laser eyes and just harvest it from them, which is pretty dark. Or they could just manufacture it.
Just harvest the dolphins.
Just harvesting the...
I mean, you've already turned them into drones, right? You said that you wouldn't cry about watching die, so why not harvest them, right?
Well, as far as, most people would see cry. I'm talking about like the politics. They wouldn't cry due to loss of money. They would just be like, just an animal,
Dude, there's plenty of those.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
I had somewhere else I wanted to go with this. Goodness. What was it? You said something else funny.
They would no more SeaWorld.
What would happen with SeaWorld?
I think that they would not have... Well, they would have to get the genetically defective ones because the real ones...
the ones who don't have
the real ones would like kill them. But what would be really bad if they got the ones with the UV laser eyes, because then you can't really see those. So they would start cooking the children whenever they saw them. So like take a family photo. Jimmy's got a sunburn now on the back of his neck. And it's really bad. They would have to do like screening of these dolphins, and they would become... They have to check their eyes. Okay, this one's good for the public to see, because we're not going to get any lawsuits.
How do you think they'd be smart about that and just like slap a piece of paper in front of them and watch it burn, or do you think they'd be really dumb about the way they screen these dolphins in the beginning?
I think the less money these companies have, the less effective their screening will be. So SeaWorld, I can imagine they have a pretty big budget. So I would say that they would do a test.
I don't know. I'm not sure they've been doing too good lately.
No, then I guess then it would drop a little bit. They'll probably just do some it's either that or lawsuits.
Oh, the lawsuits.
Yeah, so I think what they would have to do is get some of that isolated chemical from the government and then test it, inject it, and hold a piece of paper or get a spectrometer going to see.
Wait. Hold up. So you're saying this chemical is what causes the dolphins to produce this laser,
yes.
right? Like fireflies and their glowing butts.
Yes.
You said earlier when you discussed harvesting the dolphins,
yes,
the genetically deficient ones could still produce this mystery chemical?
Yes, because the genes would be lacking in the ability for the lasers to fire, but the chemical will still be there. You'd have to genetically isolate them and then breed said, because this mutant, of course, but that would still be possible and feasible.
Of course.
They would,
of course we would do that. That's just common sense.
Because then you could have ones that are defective to produce that chemical but can still have the laser eyes. Yeah, so there's different types of mutants. You would just have to find the one that still produces that chemical.
It sounds like a very boring X-Men movie. It's just dolphins who all have the same mutant power, but it's like a PETA film of all these dolphins.
Yes.
It's like, you could save them as the cameraman melts away.
That would be so messed up.
What If with Ethan and Sam is a show centered around hypothetical scenarios. Each episode, we ask each other a random question, like this episode's topic: what if dolphins had laser eyes? If you're looking for a chill time and a good laugh, be sure to stick around. We appreciate your engagement, and if you have any topics you want us to cover, please let us know. Thank you so much for listening, and now back to the show.
Actually, though, that's the very interesting thing about lasers, because lasers and eyes, as far as I know, work very similarly. Because, hear me out, eyes, generally, when you look specifically at the nocturnal creatures, have mirrors, the whole cones things. How do eyes work? Eyes diagram. Yeah, see? It's all here.
Yes.
Where are the cones?
I know that they would...
I know that's in an eye.
Yes, the rods and cones perceive...
Rods and cones. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that they manipulate light. And so they have some similarities in the way that they transmit that information. The eye just takes light, condenses it, encodes it into electrical information, and then sends that off to the brain. The brain then decodes that and makes sense of everything. Lasers, I believe, they take light and fixate it into one central point, right?
Yes, and amplify it.
Yeah. So I can see the inner workings of eyes being capable of producing laser, assuming that the source is originating from the eye.
Yeah, they would need a lot of stuff, but one thing is a mirror, and then they would have to have the lasing mechanism, which, some...
No,
some
that's not what it's called.
A lasing? Yes, it says on this...
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No. What?
I saw it on some picture. It says lasing medium.
Substance, especially glass or crystal, undergo physical process of employing a laser.
Yeah, it says lasing medium.
What?
So they have to have a pump source, which we could just use that as muscles, and then a lasing medium, some genetic defect where the body starts producing rubies in the eyes, because that would produce a red laser, so the rubies would start the mineralizing.
Whoa.
I don't even know how you would do that.
Whoa. Wait. So we got creatures right now that are bioluminescent, right?
Yes.
What if they just took bioluminescence and then, concentrated that and amplified it?
Yes, that could work too.
Would that work as a laser?
I don't know how dangerous that would be, but I definitely think that would make cool headlights, dolphin headlights.
You keep talking about headlights, but they're on the side of their head.
Like I said, they can see forward, they can see the side, they can see back. They can't see up, so if they choose to swim forward, they could look like it.
Bro, you'd be looking out one day. It's like you're at this beach, you're in your hotel, you look out at the ocean, and you just see this rave going on underneath the water.
Yes. And
it's just lasers everywhere.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, time to get out of the water and get as far away as possible.
Oh my God.
We don't want little Jimmy getting sauteed out here.
So dolphins have laser eyes now, right?
Yes.
The military have stepped in.
Yes.
They've captured a few. Some brave men and women have subdued the beast, I'm assuming with sedatives. That just seems to be the most natural thing to do.
Yeah.
They then bring it in. They strap this backpack to it, hook up some wires to his eyes, and begin to pump chemicals into it to basically make it a laser.
Yes.
My question to you, Ethan, is what makes it better than just building a drone that can do this?
Money. And some drones cost a lot of money,
Yeah.
and
But
metal.
I would assume so would the sedatives being used to obtain these dolphins.
Well, once you
not to mention the food you gotta feed them.
Well, here's the thing, Sam. Wonderful thing about this is that you capture a couple, you kind of start a dolphin farm, like in Minecraft. So you don't really need a lot. You just need a couple. And then you just
oh no!
And then you just see that take care of itself, so you don't have to keep building, more. That manpower is just taken care of. The only thing that you would need is to go fishing. Well, we already do mass fishing already. We just go out there and just get
how about a little more?
Yeah, just kick that up a notch. But instead of using crappy, fisherman boats, we use Navy boats to get it done. Imagine the amount of fish you could catch for that.
All right. Dolphins. Do you think that there'd be any dolphins left? Would they leave dolphins out in the wild, or would dolphins then become a thing that you never see ever? The only time you ever see a dolphin is when they're at war.
Well, interesting thing about that is that I don't think anybody would want to see a dolphin because they would get destroyed by one.
Right, yeah, sure.
I think the military would take a couple thousand and then, start their farm or whatever, get their...
How many dolphins are there?
I don't know, man. I just know that, there's enough of them.
How many dolphins in the world are left in the world? They're endangered? No,
even better. Oh.
They're not endangered, are there?
I don't know.
There's at least 8 million left in the world. Possibly
perfect.
Millions more.
We could just take 4 million and use that.
just casually house and store 4 million dolphins that at any point in time can just decide to have a laser.
Yeah.
That I'm assuming can melt steel. Let's figure out. What did you say? 500 million?
500 watts. Yeah, 500 million watts.
Giant super laser passes 500 trillion watts. That's a lot.
Yes.
How much damage can 500 million watts of laser power do?
I feel like that would also be variable. So it's not like an even 500,000, you could be a spectrum.
So it says it can light thin wood on fire. It will damage your eyes. Thank you, Cora.
Great information.
I had no doubt.
Hey, you don't want to be too powerful to where but not enough where it won't melt steel. It'll just bounce off the steel and just start cooking the dolphins.
See,
that would be
bad. I don't think it would melt steel. How many watts needed to melt steel? I don't think I'm looking this up right. Oh, energy required. Was this 500 kilowatts? You said 500 million, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we good.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, you're melting steel with that.
Nice.
Okay, so these are some powerful dolphins.
Indeed.
But I did have another question for
Yes.
you. You made mention of something that seems terrifying to me.
Oh.
You mentioned a dolphin farm.
Yes, indeed I did.
With laser eyes that are capable of melting steel, how does one farm these creatures?
I'm glad you asked. The beauty of the endocrine system is that you can
have
suppressors.
Yeah.
So you can add that into the food that you give them. They can suppress the that chemical being produced, which would be perfect.
Can we call it laserum?
Laserum, or however you want to pronounce them.
I like that because apparently lasing is a word.
Yes, lasing medium. Yes.
Apparently that's a thing.
Is.
So laser chemical. Just call
the laser chemical. Yes, you could suppress it. And so while they're in their giant tubs of water that are contained by steel, you don't have to really worry about them.
Yeah, but can you look at them if they're in steel? You got to keep an eye on these things,
yeah.
Right?
Glass, but it's they're in a steel dome. They got to be hidden from the public.
Oh, yes, of course.
So they have to be well hidden.
Far be it from us for allowing a small child to climb into the
Oh
tank.
yeah, that would be terrible. That would be very bad. Yes.
Dolphin farming.
Yes.
Oh boy. Do you actually think there'd be like this whole society or like this whole movement of we have to produce the strongest dolphin with the strongest laser eyes?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like
You know how they have like the whole farm thing with the pigs, right?
Yes.
The hog
Yes.
contest. Which one brings in the biggest hog? This one's just which one's dolphins actually can melt the most steel.
and the scary thing is that now with new technology of CRISPR, we can now genetically go in and edit the genes. It would take a very long time, but you could essentially build your own genome. And so through lots of trial and error, you could essentially stitch together enough code that would create the optimum dolphin with laser eyes. But that would cost a lot of money. And for that to be, you have to keep the drones, if you don't want them to use drones over this, you got to keep the cost low. So I think
Yeah, of course.
without
right,
the
right.
genetical editing, and they have to pass the test, Can it melt steel?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, it's good. They put the suppressor and the chamber, whatever. No, it can't. All right, we put it in a different tank. We suppress the laser ability, and then we farm it for the chemical for the steel melting ones. They have to pass the test.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So the farms they aren't just trying to produce the strongest dolphins. It's far more.
Oh
than
yes,
that.
it's a sophisticated system.
They also want to harvest them for their
Absolutely.
their laser chemicals.
Yes. Yep. That would be
Wow.
ideal.
Right now I have two more things I want to discuss with you.
Okay.
You mentioned something at the beginning of this that we have not talked about since.
Oh.
Dolphins, as you said, I don't know what your source is, but you claim this, so it must be true.
What?
You said dolphins have the mental capacity of a 3-year-old child.
Indeed, they do. I mean, as trustable as the internet is, that was my source. So take that as you will.
The interwebs would never lie to us.
But I've seen videos of them painting pictures and stuff like that. I mean,
It has to be true.
they're pretty smart. I mean, that painting was terrible. I mean, my word. But yeah. What would you like me to expound?
You would be the guy. No, Ethan, you would be the guy to be watching a video of some animal painting a picture and you'd be like, ha, I could do better than that.
I mean, I can. I could. I have thumbs.
But the whole point is the fact the whole point is the fact that they're like capable of understanding the fact that they are painting something.
I know.
Beyond their artistic ability, they are capable of having some form of image in their mind and working towards that goal. Or at the very least, they're aware of the fact that they are spreading some liquid substance onto a solid substance.
I mean, yeah, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't.
It doesn't look good.
It doesn't.
It doesn't look
It's
good.
like, it's terrible.
I could do better than
I mean, as a full-grown man, I could do better. I would hope. I would sincerely hope I could do better than that.
I'm not going to bet my life on it because I'm pretty sure there's a gorilla out there that probably paints better than me.
Interesting. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know.
Back to
back to dolphins.
Dolphins having the mental capacity of a 3-year-old child. Do you see anything wrong with something that's that intelligent being used as a drone or farming material?
Absolutely. I have to be careful of what I say here. Let's just say things could go terribly, terribly wrong very quickly.
No, okay, let's look into the mental capacity of a 3-year-old child. I want to see, like, how smart is a 3-year-old?
Not very, is what I'm trying to get at. They can barely follow orders. You tell them not to do something, they'll probably just stare at you and just mumble a couple of words. I don't know. I don't have any children.
But they ask the why question.
They do. Uh-oh.
They ask... Okay.
So they have the ability to think for themselves. Even worse.
No, but seriously, like, you look at 3-year-old children, they this is where they begin going into their why phase of trying to understand how things work.
So they're curious. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, but they're able to correctly name familiar colors. The source, by the way, is Grow by WebMD.
Interesting.
Apparently, this is like a psychology page, I think. I hope so, because that's what I'm using it for.
Oh.
But yeah, they can correctly name familiar colors, follow 3-part commands, remember parts of a story, not all of it. They understand time at some point, right? Like they know that morning, afternoon, and night happens in that order. They can sort objects by shape and color. Like, okay, my point is, these are decently intelligent creatures.
Yes, they are.
Do you really think that like there wouldn't come a point in time where it's like, I don't want to do that.
No.
I don't want to listen to this dude that's pumping stuff into my eyes.
No, because like any animal, they can be conditioned. So, I mean...
Thank you, Pavlov.
Yes, absolutely.
As if he created Pavlovian conditioning.
No, he just discovered it. But, thanks for discovering it, because then it can be exploited. So, due to their intelligence, you can have a little bit of strategy going on, You teach them which...
Yes.
You have to train them, of course. But, colors, where to aim and different things like that.
I'm sorry. I just got this image in my head of this drill sergeant training dolphins.
Yes.
It's like boot camp, but for dolphins.
Yes, it is. And the uniform would... the guy would have a dolphin fin hat. So he would look like a dolphin yelling at dolphins.
Was that a Tide commercial where it was like that drill sergeant just yelling at that dude? It was basically the whole point of the whole premise was this dude spilled something on his uniform, and this drill sergeant's all up in his face about it, and he's just screaming at this man. He's like, "Why on earth do you have this?" Then he turns around. The dude uses this stick and like cleans up his uniform. I just imagine that drill sergeant.
Oh,
that guy just screaming at these dolphins.
Well, keep in mind that since their mental capacity is of a 3-year-old, now take out those dolphins and imagine him yelling at 3-year-old children. I don't think that would go very well. I think they would have to get in like repurpose this.
Ethan, you're talking about farming these things, all right?
Well, yeah, I mean,
how much humanity are you willing to give them?
None. I'm just saying the mental capacity there, you have to take that into account. I feel like drill sergeant, I don't think so. What I do think what happened is, the trainers at SeaWorld, right? They just hire those guys. And then the drill sergeants is
Wait, but didn't they have like a whole bunch of lawsuits about the way that they trained them?
I mean,
there were some pretty big lawsuits, I'm pretty sure.
But the government can take that because the animals are going to be killing people anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But exploitation is...
yes, we want to exploit them.
Yeah, that's a better word.
Abuse them, right?
Yeah. No.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. But they wouldn't... I don't think the drill sergeant would be in charge of the trainers yelling at the trainers instead of the dolphins, because an angry dude yelling into the ocean doesn't always go well. He might...
I don't know. I think that'd be pretty funny.
I mean, it would be hilarious. I mean, that would be amazing, but I don't think that would happen.
So do you think each dolphin gets their own trainer?
No, that would take way too long. They'd need at least 4 or 5. Have like different brigades.
No, but it's like I imagine this crazy movie, right, where it's this dolphin that has laser eyes being trained by the military, but it's like one of those like inspirational movies about this military man with his dog. It's like one of those movies, but it's this trainer with this dolphin.
Oh, I just got a really good idea. So how like there's different like I don't know the word, but like there's different hierarchies. So you have like lieutenant, sergeant, blah 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 blah. That
the ranking system,
ranking system of dolphins. So like the more like so like you train like the mass of them to know how to shoot, right? But then you have your special ops kind of people. You have
wait. Are they like, are these ones controlling their lasers to the point where like they shoot just a certain amount, just enough to kill?
Yeah. They have their own different purposes. Like say if we got drafted, I mean, I'm not going to have a whole lot of training. I'm just going to be given a gun, know how to shoot, and then we're good to go. And keep in mind that there are people who are actually pulling the trigger. The dolphins are just told where to go.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. They're drones.
Yeah. Expendable.
But these things, they have the mental capacity of a 3-year-old. You could at least tell them to point and shoot.
And that's where you get, instead of Navy SEAL Team 6, you got Navy Dolphin Team 7. So what they do is basically 7 dolphins, trained experts. They're given the ability to control their own lasers.
The smarty pants.
Yes. those are the ones.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, the big bucks.
So, do you think that they would do anything to try to enhance their intelligence?
I mean, they can't because they did that to a monkey in China, so definitely possible.
Excuse me?
Yeah. They mixed.
What is this all about?
So they mixed and China, they got rid of it, but they mixed human genes with the monkey brain, whatever, or something in the embryo, and the brain was like 2 times big or something like that.
Oh my goodness. So this is from MIT Technology Review. Chinese scientists have put human brain genes in monkeys, and yes, they may be smarter.
Yep.
That's the name of the article. No, sorry, go ahead.
So,
go
yeah,
ahead.
so they did do that, so that definitely is possible, and they would do that to the Dolphins. But like I said, though, like, the amount of money that needs to go into these things in order for them to not have to make like drones and actually use them for precision attacks. But since there's only 7 of them in the Dolphin team, 7 Navy Dolphin team 7, I think that they would spend a little bit more money on that part.
Okay. Well, that was one thing. I have one last question in mind anyway.
Alrighty.
You might say some more stuff to spark some more conversation. Dolphins, right?
Yes.
Dolphins with laser eyes. This random thing starts happening in dolphins. Do you think specifically the US government would want to like see what other animals they could give laser eyes?
Yes, absolutely. I think the first one would be bears. I don't know why, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
They're just so durable.
Yeah, I mean,
they're just so durable.
they are very.
They don't die.
Yeah, you have to have a special like round, like I think a 308 round to like kill a bear. I could be wrong. I'm not a weapons expert. Yeah, that's a pretty big bullet. So like an AK, I mean, I'm sure if you hit it enough times, it probably would die. But I'm just saying, it's not going down easy.
I want to look at a map. Go ahead. Sorry, keep talking.
It wouldn't go down easy. So I think, I think the U.S. Army would take a look. They would use all animals, if I'm being honest. The more...
All of them?
Yeah, like dolphins. But penguins, like eagles, birds specifically, because those things are kind of hard to hit sometimes unless you have a shotgun.
And we already know birds are robots, though.
Oh, yeah. Even easier to control then. Dogs. People love dogs.
It's just literally a drone.
Yes.
Dogs.
Geckos.
Bro, is this going to become like the next, like the bombers or whatever that like people got bombs strapped to their chest? Is that the new thing with the animals with laser eyes? Like you don't know which animal has laser eyes?
So when you go to like zoos would become obsolete because then those just become training grounds.
No, but you can never trust a pigeon again.
Yes.
No matter where you are, it doesn't matter what animal you see, you never know which one has the laser eyes hooked up to it.
But yeah, humans would have a lot of distrust. Like they'll have like in their houses.
Yeah, I'd never trust an animal again. Pets would not exist.
Yeah, they're like, oh, there's a dog coming our way. Pull out the sniper rifle, and they're like, the dad's there with like his gun, and there's this dog running to the house, and then he's like, actions is going, and he's like aiming for the dog.
It's every animal.
Yeah, and then there's like a tear that comes down his eye. He's like, I remember when I was a child when I could hold a puppy and not be afraid. And then he has to shoot the dog because it's got laser eyes and it's trying to burn down the house.
So any animal's what you're saying. You say that like they would do any animal that possibly could survive.
Yes.
Having laser eyes.
Yes, they would do that. They would do humans. I mean, they'd even try to put it in trees for goodness sake. I mean, they would anything.
I'm taking a look at a map here of like where all dolphins live and everything.
Yeah.
They live everywhere. They just live in the ocean.
Yeah, that's why I said oceans couldn't be safe anymore, man.
No, but I'm looking at like this map. It's so much of the ocean. It's like oceans make up what? Around 75% of the surface of the earth?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
They just live in all of it. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, no. We're gonna have to establish like instead of the Coast Guard, like the Coast Guard would have to have like a new raise and responsibility of getting the dolphins away from the beaches, and that's probably where they would collect them and then add them to the farm. If I'm being honest,
so, bro, you just go out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, you find this giant building. You're like, what is this? Oh, it's the dolphin farm.
It's the dolphin farm. It's like Area 51, but it's in the ocean, so it's the area Area 52.
That already exists.
Okay,
but
I don't know a name for it.
I don't know what number they're at now. We only ever talk about 51.
I'm going to just say the facility.
Yes. They could just call it Atlantis.
Or they could have...
because it's supposed to never be found.
Or they can slap an oil rig on top of that bad boy.
Ooh, perfect disguise.
Yeah, because everybody hates oil rigs.
Yes.
So that'd be perfect.
Wow. So if dolphins had laser eyes, they would destroy everything. The U.S. government would step in, begin to farm them, and use them as drones.
Yes.
I have one final question for you, Ethan.
Alrighty.
What do you think happens when a laser is shot through water?
I think it refracts and it goes all over the place. I don't think it's going to hit a single thing. I think it's just going to go all over the place.
Yep. That's the thing about water.
It's just going to go everywhere. Nothing is ever going to get done. I completely...
Although, did you tell me you found something online about like a laser in water?
Yeah. They use some lasers to like kill things in like aquariums. It looked kind of funny because it looked like this beam descending from the heavens, just absolutely decimating these sea anemones. That's what I envisioned what it would look like for a dolphin.
So maybe I'm dumb and don't really understand it, but apparently some lasers are strong enough.
Oh,
like they're strong enough to survive being refracted by water.
Interesting.
Because the image you showed here is a laser and it's underwater, so like clearly it's possible. I just don't really get how or what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think it has to do with like the level of power. Yeah. Maybe. So like,
and you said 500 million watts. Megawatts. Yeah, megawatts. 500 megawatts.
Yeah, megawatts. Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
I'll just edit it in so that we always said megawatts.
It'll be like 500 megawatts, you know?
Megawatts.
Yes.
Like I don't know if you ever did theater or anything, but in theater we would have like rehearsal tracks, and to keep us from using the rehearsal tracks like during performances, they would just say rehearsal track in the middle of like all of the songs. That's what I imagine this being like.
Yes.
Do you have anything else that you think would happen if dolphins had laser eyes?
I think the world would be a sadder and more depressed place because of it. Going to the beach, instead of that being a wonderful place to take the family, it would be more sort of a cemetery of sorts.
I see.
For the divers and surfboarders, you know, it would be sad. I think it's great that they don't have laser eyes, but you know, this is what if. So
this has been What If with Ethan and Sam. Thank you so much for joining us today, and be sure to stay tuned for the next episode.
Bye.
I'm keeping it.
3, 2, 1.
Bye.